Hello guys, welcome back. So from this series, we are going to start Python course. I will be like completely teaching you the Python, which is required for problem solving, as well as which will be required for developing some projects. Later on, if we got time, we will move on to what machine learning, data science, and machine learning also. So without wasting time, let's go and explore Python. So ಪೈಥಾನ್ ನಾವು ಕಲಿಯೋಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಮಗೆ ಪೈಥಾನ್ ಏನ್ ತಿಳ್ಬೇಕು we should know at least some applications of Python before learning Python, right? So there are a number of applications of Python. See, we can do machine learning with using Python. We can explore artificial intelligence. We can do and more things like data science related things. Then some more things like this. And also Python can be used to what as a backend framework in web development, like a Django. Then also we can create Flask apps using Python. So these are some N applications. Why should you learn? Before learning Python, you should know this. If you know the applications of Python, then you can learn accordingly how you should read this, how you should learn this. Okay, let's get started with Python. So in this video, what we are going to see is, so what is Python? I have already explained. Python is a programming language, high-level programming language. It can be used in N applications. And we will look into the syntax, we will look into comments in Python, then variables, then data types, then Python numbers. So let's get started. So here is my Python course directory. You can also create Python directory from file, new project. Then you can create a new project. Then you can create the files, right? You can create your own project. Then you can create a number of Python files. So have project like Python course. I will move into this the new Python file. So let's say we'll print first program. Everyone know that a very famous program will be the first program as hello world program. We will type hello world program, right? Hello world program. So this is a file created, Python file. You can see here hello world.py. Py is the extension for Python language. So let's print how we can print hello world in Python. As you all know, we can print in C as like printf hello world within the double quotes, then again colon. In Java, if we tell system.out.println within the double quotes, hello world. But in Python, it's very easy. If you know those two languages or any one of them, Python is literally, I'm telling you, Python is literally very easy. Let's say how to print hello world in Python. See, I will write the code here, world. That's it. Only single line of code and without any terminators, nothing. If you want, we can put this terminator at the end, but it is not required and it is not mandatory. See that's it. This is the code. If we run this file, if you want to run this file, just right click on your mouse, then go to run hello world. You can see the output here. Okay, the first program we have did. So after doing this program, definitely everyone move to addition of two numbers, subtraction of two numbers, multiplication of two numbers, like this simple programs. See, let's create another new file, Python file. We'll create sum. Then we will do a program for addition of two numbers. How will you do the addition? See, here we don't have any data type like int data types, and like float data types. Here we don't need want to what we don't need any initialization of any variables. We can directly use the variables as a is equals to, just assign the value what you want. You can assign a number, or you can assign a string, or you can also assign a boolean type, means true or false. True. Either you can also store false, or you can also store, we have like complex data type, like let's say reg. This use also it's possible. You can type. So let's assign a value like integer value. Let's say 87. Let's assign b with the value. Let's say 34. If you want to add these two numbers, what were you doing in this like in Java, C++, or C? You just use an operator called plus, right? Similar way, we will also use a operator a plus b. See what this line do actually? This line will perform the addition of these two numbers, like 87 plus 34. It will perform the addition of these two numbers. Then it will store this result in a sum variable. That's it. Now we want to print the result of this sum. If we want to print the value which is stored in the sum, we will directly write the name. here we have see like we have written the name directly. So if we run this program, what will be the result? Can you guess? Of course, it will be the sum of these two numbers. Let's run this. You can see here it is the sum of these two numbers. If you want to print a string as it is, let's say you want to print before like sum is, you will add it like this, sum is, and you will separate these with a single quote, right? A single comma. If you run this program, whatever the things which have been written in the double quotes will be printed like as it is. Here you can see sum is and colon. So this thing will be printed as it is. And but this sum are not enclosed within the double quotes, right? So this will be replaced by the value which is present in the sum. Here we can see what is the value present in the sum. The value is the value of A plus the value of B, that is 87 plus 34. Let's say if I run this, you can see the output here. Sum is 121, right? Similar way, here you explain what you have written hello world within the double quotes. So this output is also like whatever the thing you write in the double quotes, it will be outputted as like as it is. In the similar way only, we have written this sum is colon, which is printed as it is, then sum, which is printed the value which is present in the sum. Right? We have written the program for the addition of the two numbers. Then we will write program for subtraction of two numbers. Wait, what? See, only this small code we are like required to create n number of files. How many files will you create for such n number of programs? Is this awkward, right? So we have like notebooks in Python. We can use notebooks for running Python codes. So what you do is go to your browser, then go to your drive. See, I have a drive here. So what you do is go to this new section here in the top right corner, sorry, top left corner, click on the plus icon, click new folder. I will create a folder like Python course, enter. So, okay, Python course folder is created. Just open this. Here, what you do is you right click on the mouse, then go to the more option here, right? Then you can find the Google Collaboratory here, right? Click on this. This is a Google's official website which provides a service like running Python codes online. So just wait a minute, it will take some time to reload. Right, it has got reloaded. Here what you do is just rename the file except the .ipynb, just rename the file. I will rename this as basics, right? Basics.ipynb, then press enter. Now the file name has been saved here. You can see here basics.ipynb Google Collaboratory. If you go here and if you see this, if you refresh the page in the drive page, you can see the file like untitled still, but it will get updated to the basics.ipynb later. So now what you do is you will start coding from here. For each and every small course, you don't need to create any files. You can run n number of codes here. Like we can create code sections here. We can whatever the code we require, we just enter in this box. We will run. The output will be printed in the next line directly. So let's what we do is now we will just demonstrate some few codes which will require some basic information. Let's start with this. Let's start with like multiplication of two numbers, right? Multiplication of two numbers. See, in this video series, we don't learn theory of the Python. See, theory you can learn from the online websites also, right? So we will concentrating more on the practicals, hands-on sessions of Python. So stay tuned. Let's start with the coding. So multiplication of two numbers. How you multiply two numbers? Definitely, as a human thought process, we multiply two numbers like 2 into 3, right? We will directly multiply this number 2 into 3. But in Python, how can you do this? Definitely, Python is also same. It is also a logic. What you do is simply, let's take two variables. Sorry, we don't use any int or float types here. If we take any variable like a, if what type of value we are going to assign here, based on that, the type of this variable is changed. Let's say assign a with 2. Then I assign some b with, let's say, coding. Let's say I assign C with some float point values. So if I print all these values, means the type of values, how can you detect the data type of this each and every variables? See, in Python, you can detect the type of each and every variables like this. Print the type of each and every variable A. This line will print the data type of A. What is the data type of A? Definitely you can see this is an integer. So this will print the type of A. Then what we do is we will print the type of B. What will the type of B? Definitely you can see if a thing is enclosed within a double quotes means definitely that is a string, right? No confusions at all. So and also within double quotes, not only the double quotes, if you enclose anything within a single quote also, if you write anything in a single quotes also, this is also a string, this is also a string, no difference. And what is the type of C? C is a floating point value, right? So it will return float. So let's print all the type of this. Print type of C, then print type of B. So if I run, means you can run from here, either here, or you can like press shift enter together. It will take some time to connect. If you're starting now, here, there you go. I have explained that first is an integer type, so that is class int. The second one is of string type, that is coding, which is a presented string. Then third, C is the type of float, as you can see, float values. Then the D is a type of string again. So single quotes, double quotes doesn't matters here. So I think I explained you some basic data types here. So we have much more data types like I will explain you now. So we have data types like complex as well. So what is complex? Let's say I will initialize one variable like complex variable, right? Complex variable. This is an actually variable. You know some rules to create how to create variables. It should not start with the numbers. It should not start with special case, and it should not contain special characters except underscore. So these things all are like theory wise. You should learn accordingly, however you want. But learn those things because those things helps you a lot in this doing this hands-on course. Okay, we have type data type like a complex. What is complex? Definitely you know complex numbers. So complex numbers will store some variable number like a number with some what? With some character like this 1J, it may be 2I, it may be 3K like this. If you print the type of this particular word, type of this data type that is complex number, just print the type of this complex variable, what we will get, you can see the complex. If you run this, you can see here this is a complex type, right? So this is one of the data type. Then we will move to next data type. So that data type is like we have list, tuples, range. These are like sequential types, right? We will move to this once we completed with these operations, like operations which will be based on these data types. Then we will move to the list, tuples, and ranges. So, and one more is there, that is bool type. Let's say I will take a variable like bool type variable. This is not a type, this is variable, means container which stores any data. So in this we can store like true, or we can store either false. If I print the type of this bool type, what it will print? If I run this, sorry, this is don't have like L, okay, some basic mistakes. So yeah, you can see this is of bool type, right? So type of the data you can retrieve to this function like type of A, type of B, type of C. Okay, fine. We will make a program for multiplication of two numbers here. Sorry, I have explained the complete what data types related things here, variables. Now what we will do, we will learn how to comment in Python. How to comment in Python. I will add comments above so we can understand comments in Python. So comments in Python. This is what? This is basic data types in Python, right? Okay, I've explained the basic data types. I will explain the comments. See, definitely you will be having some functionalities in every each and every languages for commenting. For single line comments, like let's say you use comments in okay. So in C, C++, what you do for single line comment, you will do this backslash, right? Double backslash for single line comment. And for double line comment, you will using this backslash star and at the end star backslash in C, C++. And also in Java, it is also the same. But in Python, their functionality is different than C and C++. What are these functionalities? Like for single line comment, you will use hash. This is a single line comment, right? For single line commenting, let's say you have something like I am coder, I am from DBIT. Okay, this is keyword, that's why it is appearing color. Okay, why this is appearing red and yellow? Because this is not a valid key identifiers. So this is appearing red and yellow. Uh, let's say if you want to comment these multi-line texts, how do you do? In C++ or like backslash star and at the end star and backslash. In Python, you will perform this like these triple quotes, double quotes or single quotes you can use in the starting and in the ending, again the same triple quotes. If you enclose any text within these triple quotes and triple quotes, definitely that thing within this will be commentized. Now you can't see any errors in this. Let's say if I run this printing this something, you can't get any errors. Let's say I run this. No, see. So program compiled without any errors, no errors. This thing is I have printed here, so as a string. So that's it. This is how you do single line comment, and this is how you do the under one multi-line. Sorry, I will write within inside this only. This is multi-line comment. Why you should use multi-line comments? Definitely, while you are writing a program, so the one more person maybe is from different place. He should understand your code, right? So make them understand. You should write or insert comments in between the programs while creating a functions, while creating some classes like this. Now, we have done with the what comments. And then we will move into what? Then we will move into casting means typecasting. Definitely, you people all know what is typecasting. Initially, what you do is I will create one name here, typecasting, hash typecasting, right? So, see, same thing. I just copy this. I will copy these three things. Copy, paste. See, what is the type of A? You here you can see type of A is what? Integer type. Type of B is what? String type. Type of C is float type. If we want to convert this integer into float, how will you do? You will just take array variable like let's say this is a float, float number. So we will convert this integer that is 2 means a. We will convert this a that is of type integer to a float variable. How can we do this? We will just type float here within the brace. We will type the integer. We will type the variable which contains a value integer, right? A contains a integer. If we type this within this, which is like function by float, if we perform this and then if we print the print type of float number. See, before also we will print type of what? A. So before this is what? Before this thing will be before converting into a float, this thing will be before, after converting into a float. Now if I run this, what it will print? Definitely it will print the type of A before what? Converting it to a float, then after converting it into the float. Let's run this. You can see this was earlier of int type. After doing this typecasting, we have got it as a float type. Same number, right? Same A, we have got into the float type, but we are storing here in a float number, different number. We can also store this in the A itself, but this is not the good method. stored in the A itself, and we will again run this. You can see initially it was in the int type, then it is moved into a float type. Okay, fine. Now, so typecasting like this we can perform. Let's say we have a string. Let's say we have, this is a string. Let's say string consists of like a series of numbers, 3, 4, something, something. If you want to, this is of type what? This is of type string, right? Print type of string. So just let's say this, I will print this. You can see in the last line what it should display. This is of string type, right? Now, if I want to convert this into an int type, how can you do? Similarly, just assign that particular string name with int of the what? This initially considering the variable, same in this string. If you store the string and we'll convert this int, then we will again what? Store in this again same variable string. If I print now the type of this what string, what it should display? It should display at the end of this as an int. See, initially it was a type of string, then it was converted into a int. So this is how you are going to perform typecasting. You can perform n number of typecasting from one particular data type to another particular data type. We just learn from the things. We have did the two data type conversion. And also one more is here. Let's convert this. Let's try to convert this one. That is C34.3434, right? Let's try to convert this into a float, sorry, integer type. So C is equals to int of C. Let's say if I print C, what it should display? Just look into the code directly. Sorry, I am printing the C directly. We have to print the type, right? Type of C. If I print this, see, this is also converted into int. And also, you don't try to do this thing that is from float to integer because accuracy may vary. See, accuracy may remove. Like if I convert this into int, this particular thing will get lost. Only 34 will be printed. So data is lost here, right? So don't do this. If required, you can perform. Okay, we have learned what typecasting, how to convert from one type to another type. Okay, now it's a time to learn how to take inputs, how to print outputs. So these things you should know. So this is very important. So let's start with the input output. I have already showed that how to print outputs, right? Print type of C, print. So output I have already explained. Now I will explain how to take input. Taking inputs in Python. Right. So in Python, you can read any inputs from the console or from the what enter we where we enter the terminal. You can use input function. So let's say if I want to read a number from the user, what we will do in C and C++, we will print the statement, enter a number like that, right? In Python also, we will use that to ask the user to enter a number. But there, for scanning purpose, what we are doing scanf, you will be doing scanf, then a percentage d, that is format specifiers you will be using, then you will read and you will store in a particular variable. Here, we want to read a number and we have to store in a. How can we do? See, here is the code. You use the function called input. This is a function which reads data from the console or a terminal, then stores the data into the A. This is like a bus which stores, which takes element or a data from the console or a terminal, then put this data into a variable like here A. Then here within double quotes, what you want to ask the user, that thing you should write here. Let's say I want to ask like enter a number. I want to ask like enter a number. Enter a number. If I execute this line, what it will do is it will print enter a number in the console first, right? Then what we will do, definitely it is asking a number to enter. We will enter a number. Then this function will assign the value which we entered, that is 4 or 5 something we will be entering, right? That element to the A. A is what? It is a container or a data type. It will store the whatever the data we enter, it will store in his here. Let's say we will print the same. So what it will ask if I run first? It will ask like enter a number, right? See here, it is asking like enter a number. Let's say I enter a 50. Then I entered, right? See, it has printed 50. Why 50? Because After asking this, the program what will do is whatever the type data we will enter here, that data will be stored in the variable a here, and the same data has been printed. Right, that's it. See, and also if I print the type of this data, what it will be? Definitely everyone will be thinking that it is a type integer, it is type of integer because number, it is a number, it will be type of integer. But no, see here, a twist is present here. If I execute this, I will enter 34, enter. See, you can see here. This is the twist in Python. So this is a main twist. Here it is returning like it is of a type string. While you are reading the inputs, by default, program will read everything as a string. If you enter a number, it is also a string. If you enter a string, it is also read as a string. If it is a operator, if it is a special symbol, each and everything what you enter in this input section, it will read and store it as a what? Store it as a string element. This is your string class. If you want to use this as a number, see, if I want to perform operations on this particular thing, it should be converted into integer first, right? Because it is of a string type. If we can't perform any mathematical operation on a string, see, if I try to do multiplication with the string is possible, because see, if I try to multiply a string with a 2, what it will return? It will return 2 times of this what the thing a have. Means if I perform this, if I run this, see, I will enter 4. You can see whatever the thing present in the a, it will print 2 times the same thing. See, 4 once, again 4 is printed 2 times, but it doesn't provided with us the what? 2 into 4 is what? 2 4 is 8. It does not provide. If we want that 8 result, we should what we should do? We should first typecast this string type into an integer type, right? So we will typecast this first. A is equals to int of a. What it will do is it will take a string a and it will convert into int. Then it will store this into the a. What? This data type. Then if we perform this now, what will be the result of a? What will be the result of this print statement? Let's remove this. Definitely, as you expected, 2 4 is 8. I will enter 4, enter. So you can see is of type 8. But still it is showing like type print type of A is a string because we have printed this before converting into it before typecasting. Let's print this after typecasting also. Print type of B. If we execute this, let's say 4 only, right? Sorry, this is not B, this is A. Small mistake. 4, enter. So before typecasting, it was of a type string. See, after this is typecasting. After typecasting, the type of A is what? Integer. And operation is 2 times A is of what type? Integer. So 2 times 4 is 2 4 is 8. 8 is printed. So this is what before, this is what typecasting. So I think everyone understood why we should require typecasting in Python. While reading the input, definitely in what? In common, it will accept each and everything we write in the input section as a string. So before performing mathematical operations on that, we should convert this into a required data types type. Okay, taking inputs. I have shown you how to take an input. That is a is equals to input, enter a number. You can ask your number or you can't. You may ask or you may not. While reading the input, definitely in what? In common, it will accept each and everything we write in the input section as a string. So before performing mathematical operations on that, we should convert this into a required data types type. Okay, taking inputs. I have shown you how to take an input. That is a is equals to input, enter a number. You can ask your number or you can't. You may ask or you may not. It depends on you. Okay, we check that how to read an input in Python. Uh, let's say I want to read two numbers. That is a is equals to, let's say we'll take a num1. Num1 is equals to what? Num1 is equals to input of enter first number, right? And again the same thing. Num2 is equals to input enter second number. You perform this and you will print the sum. Means like num1 plus num2. What will be the result? You can expect the result if you pause the video and guess the output of this line. what you will get. I have explained earlier what will be the result of this, like if you perform. See, if you perform this, what it will ask input for the first number, that is num1, and it will ask input for the number 2 variable, then it will returns the num1 plus num2, the sum. Means it won't return the sum of these numbers. It will just concatenate these two strings, because initially it will store the whatever we enter in the string format, right? Num1 contains a string, num2 contains a string. It will just concatenate. It doesn't returns your sum of the numbers. Let's say if I run this, or this is of the what first input. Let's say we will do something, enter. This is what the thing. You can see the green pointer here, right? Green pointer shows where the actually code program is running. So here, from here, we have written the code. We will run now. We will enter a number 3. We will again enter a number 6. See, it returns 36, not 3 plus 6, 9. Because 3 is a string, 6 is a string, and it concatenates 3, the string 3 and string 6 together, then it will print the string 36. But see, for reading two variables, you are using two line of inputs, like enter first number, enter second number, like this. Let's say if I want, oh, let's move here. If I want to be done it in a single line, means within a single line, you should read two variables. Then how will you do this? How will you do this? See, if I want to read two variables, let's say A, comma B. If I want to read both of these numbers in a single line, then how can we perform this? We can perform this using the same input function, but what here difference is, we will write enter two numbers, let's say. So this is string, however you can write, it's your wish. At the end of the string input section, what you do is just add the split function. What it will actually do is, let's say if I print A plus B, of course it doesn't returns you the sum, it just returns what? Returns the concatenation of these two strings. Let's run this. So it is asking for a first number 20, not the first. Actually, it is asking enter two numbers. Enter two numbers, right? So I entered 120. Then here what you do is just leave one space. Enter one more number. Let's say 50. Now, if I enter this, what it will program will do is, the first iterator, what you do, the first element will be taken and stored in eighth variable. Then it will split the string, means whatever the thing we enter, it will split based on this space, and it will read this 20 into the A, then it will read the 50 into the B. So simultaneously it will what assign these two values into these two variables, then it will print the concatenation of these two strings, right? This is not what numbers, these are strings. So let's say I print, sorry, I entered enter. See, it has concatenated these two strings and it has entered. So this is how we can perform input in reading input of two strings at the same time. Let's say I want to split based on this comma, based on the comma, then enter. Now let's say I enter a 40, I entered 50. Now if I enter this, it don't split, because we are splitting the string based on the comma, but we don't find any comma here, right? If I enter comma here, then only it will split this string. Based on what we give the parameters, it will split the string and it will push the values into this A and B. Now if I run this, if I enter this, what it will see? It has splitted the input string 40, 50 into 2 based on this comma, and store this 40 into A and store this 50 into a B, then perform the concatenation. Right. We have done many things. Now what we will do is, so we have to, let's say we have to add two numbers. We have to write a program for add two numbers. We will write from here. Let's say the first code is add two user entered numbers. So how will you do? Num1 comma num2 is equals to input. This is the input function which actually reads and stores the data present in the terminal or the console into the num1 and num2. So in the input section, what you do is type. Let's say I will type enter two numbers, right? So dot split what on base what, if you leave this without anything filled in this, it will split the entered string based on the spaces present in between the substrings. Now you splitted the entered string and you stored the input in this num1 and num2. Now what you do, you have to perform addition operation, right? Means num1 plus num2, but you can't do it directly num1 plus num2 because these are in string format. You have to convert this into the int format. So to convert to int format, what you do is num1 comma num2 is equals to int of num1 comma int of num2. Here what it will actually do is num1 is there now, it will stores with converting the num1 into the int type, and it will store it in the num1. And what here the int of num2, what it will function is it will convert this num2 string is here, right? This string is converted into the integer type, then it is stored in the num2. You can also write this as like num1 is equals to int of num1 and num2 is equals to int of num2. So this is also the same. You can either write like this or either like this. Let's delete this thing itself. So both are same. So let's run this. So it is asking for a number, let's say 343, and one more is 433. Because we are using split, so we have to provide space in between the two numbers which we are entering to store in the num1 and num2. So let's enter. You can enter. It doesn't displays anything because we are not performed any operation. We are not printed anything. Now we will perform sum operation. Sum is equals to what? Num1 plus num1 plus num2. Then what we have to print? We have to print the sum. What will be the type of sum? Definitely type of sum will be in the integer. Whatever the initialization we do, it will be in the type of the initialization what we do. So type of sum is integer and the sum will be what? Sum of these two numbers what we enter. Let's run this. So two numbers, three, let's say I will enter 50 and 20. Enter. So it is 70. Right? 50 plus 20 is what? 70. So we have performed sum. Let's say we will perform product also. Product will be what? Num1 into num2, right? And also subtraction. Sub is equals to what? Num1 minus num2. And also division also. Division is equals to what? Num1 by num2. Here num2, if I enter num2, it will displays what? Divide by zero error. I think everyone knows this. Divide by zero error, it will display if num2 is zero. Right? If I have not explained any like try and except methods, we will be discussing it in the further videos. That is exception handling. So I will print what? Will print sum and the sum here. Then we'll print product, the product here. So see what actually this comma does is it will separate the string, means it will print the sum first and it will print the sum, means value of sum. It will print the string sum first, then it will print the value of the sum which is calculated here. Value of the sum will what? Value of the num1 plus value of the num2. What is the value of num1 and num2? The numbers which we will enter. So product, so print subtraction, let's say. So comma separated sub, let's say I will print the division result, div, right? Sorry, division. Now you can give a shift enter. You can see the result of all this. First we have to enter some numbers, let's say 30 and 10, let's say enter. So after performing sum of these two numbers, 40, 30 plus 10 is correct, 40. After performing product, 30 into 10 is what? 300, correct. Subtraction, 30 minus 10 is what? 20. Division, 30 by 10 is what? Exactly 3.0. It is of type what? Float. If I return the type of this division, what is the type of division? If I enter this, I say 30 and 10, right? If we perform division operations of any two numbers, it will return the result in the format of float only, means like this point something. If you perform division operation. So let's say same number will enter, 10, enter. See, this is of the type float because point something is there now. So the decimal point, if we find anything anywhere, then it will be the type of float. After performing division operation, we will be getting result in the type of float.
So this is some basic program which is based on the topics I have explained above. So I think this video is a bit lengthy because this much knowledge is actually required to start with this Python coding. So we'll meet in the next video with some important topics. Till then, take care. Bye bye.